Anumanam Duvidham. I told you, I am telling you from day one, that is the most useful instrument provided to human being. What we do, we either accept something or we reject something, refuse something. But for acceptance also, I should have some ground. And for rejection also, I should have some ground. My rational behavior will be only established if I am able to say why I accept and why I reject. Is it so? So, before convincing others, I should convince myself. So, I should psychologically undergo the process of inference for myself and see that it is convincing or not. This is called Swarthanumana. And once I am convinced and I know the steps, because I myself have reflected on the steps to convince myself. So I have identified all the steps. Once I have identified those steps to convince myself, for convincing others, what should I do? Now, while doing convincing myself, I need not utter any sentence. I may sit in dhyana and convince. But for convincing you, what should I do? I have to articulate. So, I will be articulating only 5 sentences, he said. And those 5 sentences are called Panchavayava Anumana, Parartha Anumana. So, Swartha Anumana to convince myself, and Parartha Anumana to convince others through language. But I will use only 5 sentences. The 5 sentences are in this process. Because I need only 5 steps to come to the conclusion. No. All will be included only in the 5. Correct. Yeah, this is inference. Because whenever such, you see, they pass on the cheats, write something, they give something. In the classroom, the students do like this. Now this has become grey, no? Whole life is doing only this. So they will be sitting somewhere and they will be writing something and laughing. They are not attentive at all. So when I am, you see how much trouble I am taking to make you known, and you have no interest in knowing. You are passing your this thing remark, something they may be doing, chit chatting, or nowadays even they keep the mobile here and go on chatting. And when I catch, I said, okay, door is open. I want you to understand. This is an opportunity for you to learn, and so example is correct. I have seen hundreds such cases where there is no attention given to the teaching. So in the morning, I was explaining one concept called Vyapar. So I said, remember that X produces Y, but it produces Z, and then so it produces Z, it produces Y, and Z produces Y. So it produces Z, which produces Y. X produces Z, X also produces Y, which is produced by Z. Tajanyatve sati tajanya janakah vyaparaha. This is what we were discussing in the morning. So, say, and so what should be the karana? That was the context. So, we said that vyaparavat asadharanam karanam karanam. So, a karana is a karana which is uncommon, peculiar, and which is involved in vyapara. So, what is vyapara? We say. So, I told you that vyapara is a function. So, if X is indriya and sannikarsha is vyapara of indriya and pratyaksha jnana is the result. So, what should be chosen as the karana? This definition of karana tells us that we should choose indriya as karana, because it's the indriya which is involved in a function, sannikarsha. And what is the function? It is produced by indriya, sannikarsha is produced by indriya, and it produces pratyaka, which is produced by indriya. So, tajanya is in sannikarsha, tajanya, sannikarsha, and tajanya is pratyaksha jnana. Janaka also is sannikarsha. So, tajanyatve sati tajanya janaka. So, two conditions are fulfilled. It is produced by indriya and it produces the result which is produced by indriya. Two conditions have been fulfilled. So, this is the idea of function. Vyapara. So, this is vyapara. So, Z is vyapara. Now, vyapara, if this is vyapara, then vyapara, what is this? Involved in vyapara is this indriya. So, indriya will be pratyaksha pramana. And that is what he said in the before, that the indriya is pratyaksha pramana. Now he is telling that paramarsha is anumana pramana. So let us see what is the status of paramarsha. Now let us put in it. So you have vyapti jnana. Then Vyapti Vishishta Paksha Dharmata Jnana, that is Paramarsha. And then what comes is Anumiti. Vyapti Jnana you have, a relationship between Hetu and Sadhya, in variable concomitance you have. Then Tritiya Linga Darshana you have, Paramarsha you have, and after Paramarsha Anumiti follows. Now, so Vyapti Jnana produces Paramarsha, isn't it so? And Vyapti Jnana produces Anumiti also. So Vyapti Jnana Janya is Paramarsha, and Vyapti Jnana Janya Anumiti Janaka also is Paramarsha. So Paramarsha becomes Vyapara. So here he said Vyaparavat should be Karana. So Indriya became Karana. And here he says that Vyapara itself is Karana. Pramana is Karana. We have been telling since morning. Pramana is what? Pramiyate anena. Iti pramana. Pramana is an instrument, is a process. What is the concept of an instrument? This concept of an instrument is given to us. And accordingly, we could identify Indriya as Pramana. Why? Because Indriya is Karana. What is Karana? That which is involved in a function. So Indriya is involved in a function. What is function? Sannikarsha is function. So Sannikarsha is, so Vyapar. So Vyaparavat is Indriya. That was maintained. Vyaparavat Karanam. Karanam Karanam. Okay. But here the Vyapara is Paramarsha. So Vyapara is not Karana. Therefore, there is another concept of Karana which immediately came to his mind. And accordingly, he did that. He said, Phala, Ayoga, Vyavachinnam, Karanam, Karanam. So there is another concept of Karana, another definition of Karana in the tradition, which says that that which is immediately preceding state of the result. So result is Anumiti, na? Phala. So immediately before Phala, before Anumiti, what is there? That is Karana. So there should not be any gap. So Phala, there is no intervention between Phala and Karana. So Phala, the two negatives have been used. So Phala, Ayoga, Vyavachinna. Vyavachinna also is negation. So Phala, Ayoga, Vyavachinna. That means there is no disassociation of Phala. Yoga is association, Ayoga is a disassociation. So there is no disassociation with Phala. That is Karana. That Karana is Paramarsha. That means that which is immediately preceding state. This is Phala. Before Phala, what comes is Vyapara. So if we apply this concept of Karana, then in Pratyaksha Pramana also, Sannikarsha will become Pratyaksha Pramana. Therefore, this point I did not tell that time because I thought I will not require it, but now I think I should tell you this also. Because he applied this definition of Karana in the case of Pratyaksha Pramana, In Anumana Pramana, he applied that definition of Karana. Both are acceptable to the tradition. So, in one case he applied that, the other case he applied that. So, in the tradition we have various notions of Karana. You see, yesterday you were asking, no, that why one should be called most asadharana. And I told you that Jayanta Bhatta himself has Samagri Karanam. So, Samagri Karanam, Phalayoga Bhavachinnam Karanam Karanam, Vyaparavata Sadharanam Karanam Karanam. You can see different concepts of Karana the theoreticians are using. So, here both he has used in this text. In the first case of Pratyaksha, he has used that definition of Karana. In the process of inference, he has used Phala Ayoga Bhavachinnam Karanam Karanam. It means that immediately preceding the result is Karana. Between Karana and Phala, there should not be any intervention. So, what is immediately preceding? Paramarsha. Therefore, Paramarsha Janyam Jnanam Anumiti is telling. Paramarsha Janyam Jnanam Anumiti and Paramarsha Anumanam is telling. He should have said Vyapti Jnanam Anumanam, he should have said, which is said in Nyaya Siddhanta Muktavali. Elsewhere, in a higher text. So, while reading the text, he should be informed of these backgrounds. So, while teaching in the class, you should say, now otherwise any student will ask you that, well, why here Indriya is Pramana and here Paramarsha is Pramana? Because Paramarsha is Vyapara. So, Vyapara is Pramana here and Vyapara, what is Pramana there? So, this discrepancy, as it were, you can answer only by pointing out to the two notions of Karana. One applied there, the other one applied here. This is what has happened. So, this point I wanted to bring to your notice. So, when we will go for Upamana Pramana, we will see. When we will go to Shabda Pramana, we will see which one he calls Shabda Pramana, which one he calls Upamana Pramana. So, we will keep these things in our mind. That whether he is following Vyaparabhata Sadharanam Karanam Karanam or he is following Phala Ayoga Vavachinnam Karanam Karanam or his Samagri of Kankani, he doesn't follow. Samagri Karana is a unique philosopher, Jayanta Bhatta. You didn't get anything, no? People might not. But I had written an article on that long before. You didn't get. I wrote that. So his idea was that when there is a group of factors, so when the entire group is present, then the result occurs. And anything you remove from that group, the result does not occur. Then how can you say that one is excellent of all? That is the objection raised by Jayanta Bhatta. And he says, instead of that, let us call Samagri, means the totality, the total number of factors is alone capable of producing the result. So, Samagri Karanam. And on that there is very beautiful debate in his book. So, so now we can understand this. Tasmat Swarthanumiti Pararthanumityoho Linga Paramarsha Eva Karanam. And Tasmat Linga Paramarsha Anumanam. So, Linga Paramarsha is Anuman. So, Vyapara Anumanam. Vyaparavat is not Anumana. But in Pratyaksha, Vyaparavat is Anumana. This is because there is another notion there. So at least some idea of inference you got, some broad idea, but you will have to read along with translation, along with the notes that I have provided, not only once but several times. Listen to it again and again. I have simplified it to the maximum possible capacity that I have. But you have to internalize it by reading it again and again, again and again, again and again, and discussing. So this is an area which is most required for convincing others. But before that, you have to do an exercise to convince yourself. So this is the most effective tool which no man can avoid. Even in daily transaction you do this, daily do. You just now remember me, that when you will be telling something which is not in front of your eyes about something, so you are convincing somebody. Then you are convincing means you do not know this Anumana Shastra, but you are doing the same thing. So a Nayayika will listen to you and prepare the 5 sentences out of your statement. Yes. So even if there be 100 pages discussion in the court, but ultimately what matters is all to be reduced to only 5 sentences. The judgment of so many pages, so many pages judgment. In what is Paramarsha? Paramarsha is confirmation of the ground that you have forwarded to make the claim. That ground is pervaded by the claim. That has a invariable relationship with the claim. Isn't so? So if you go wrong there in selecting a ground which does not have invariable concomitance with the sadhya, then your anumiti will go wrong. So the judge will point out to that. They will listen to both the sides and he will see that which ground is more weighty, more closer to vyapti, which ground has a vyapti and which ground does not have vyapti. That's the only thing he is going to decide. Isn't it so? Precisely this is what the judge is going to do. That it is a sadhetu or not. That's all. This is the only thing he is going to do. No evidence can be an evidence which is known exclusively only to you. Private evidence is not an evidence. So you cannot say that I depend only on myself. You have to convince others, means the ground must be known to him also. Ubhayavadi siddha should be the hetu. So there is no question of private verification. A judge cannot enter in your mind. So you have to place it before the judge, means it should be a public evidence. It's not a private evidence. So there is no question of private evidence in Paramarsha. The Paramarsha will come only after Vyapti, Smarana. And you will identify that the ground has invariable concomitance with the sadhya. And such a ground exists on the paksha. This is Paramarsha. Many new terms you came to know today, But see, this buddhi, guna, no? We have started buddhi. Buddhi will continue for a long time. Because that is the main thing. So this buddhi section has got many terms and you should prepare that. your own dictionary. In own language also you can do. In Kannada you can write. English is already given here. So please read. Notes, translation and text. This will also help you in improving the knowledge of Sanskrit language. You will have a habit of reading the text in this way. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So I believe that you have read the translations and notes. What is the direct process of knowing? Pratyaksha. And what is indirect process of knowing? Anumana and the remaining Upamana and Shabda. Now Anumana we are discussing. Some terms have been introduced. So standard example, Parvataha Manniman Dhoomavatvat. Mountain has fire because it has a smoke. What is this called? Paksha. What is this called? Hetu. And what is this? Sadhya. So, what is sadhya? Sadhya is that which we want to establish. Clear? That which we want to establish is sadhya. We want to establish on certain ground. That ground is called hetu. It is also called linga. Or in English you can also call mark. So ground, mark, reason, these are the terms you can use for dhuma. Now is it the case that if I know simply dhuma, I know dhuma and I will immediately know Banni? I will have to go through a process. And that process is indirect process. So I will know dhuma. So I will have dhuma jnana. And then what will happen? I will remember vyapti. What is vyapti? It's a relationship between hetu and sadhya. Is it occasional relationship or invariable relationship, invariable relationship. So, wherever there is dhuma, there is vani. Like that, many cases you have seen. N number of cases you have seen. Wherever there is smoke, there is fire. So, by this observation, this is perception. What kind of knowledge is this? Perception, direct knowledge. So, by direct knowledge, I have observed n number of cases that wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Because of this, I have known something. What have I known? The relationship between dhuma and vani. Not only I have seen this, but I have seen So, I have also seen that where there is no vani, there is no dhuma. Where there is vani abhava, there is dhuma abhava. This I have seen in many cases like Mahanasa. Mahanasa is kitchen. And I have seen this in many cases like Radha, water lake, and many other places I have seen that there is no vani and there is no dhuma. By these observations, direct perception, I have come to know something. So, Vyapti is an invariable relationship between Hetu and Sadhya. So, this is at the center of Anumana. It is because of this I am coming to know vani. Had there been a single exception, there is no guarantee that I will know vani from dhuma. Because if there is a single, even if there is one exception, it means the relationship is not invariable. So, niyata sahachara, always together. Always being in one and the same locus. Wherever there is dhuma, there is vani. When such is the case, then this knowledge is a person who is going to infer anything from anything, this knowledge is given to him. then only the process will work. Otherwise the process is not going to work. If he knows this, and then if he sees hetu, then the process, vyapti will be remembered. Relationship will be remembered. So, if I know the relationship between A and B, if I know the relation A is related to B, and if I say only A, I can remember B. Because I know the relationship between A and B. एक संबंधी ज्ञानम अपर संबंधे स्मारकम. So the rule is एक संबंधी ज्ञानम अपर संबंधी स्मारकम भवति. If you know a relationship between A and B, A is a sambandhi, sambandhin, B is a sambandhin of the relation A, of the relation R. A is a sambandhi, B is the sambandhi. If the R is known, if the relation is known between A and B, and then if I know A, or even if I know B, then the A or B may be remembered. Eka sambandhi jnanam apara sambandhi smarakam bhavati. This is the generalized rule. So, I have known this. What have I known? Vyapti. Vyapti between what? Hetu and sadhya. Is it clear? I am summarizing the whole thing that we have discussed. So, Vyapti is a relationship. So, then I know Vyapti. Then I see Dhuma. Then what will happen? Vyapti Smarana will take place. And then what will happen? Then again I will, so I am looking at the Dhuma which is invariably related to Vani. So this Dhuma is such Dhuma which exists on Paksha. So again I look to Dhuma. So it is not now Dhuma simply. It is not simply Dhumatva Vishishta. How it is now? Dhuma is Vyapya now. That is, Dhuma has, in Dhuma, I have known Vyapti. So this Dhuma is Vyapti Vishishta Dhuma. This now, I am looking at Dhuma in this form now. That Dhuma is Vyapti Vishishta. And Vyapti Vishishta Dhuma exists on Paksha. This is called Paksha Dharmata Jnana. I know that such a Dhuma exists on the mountain. Paksha Vrittitva. In Parvata, such a Dhuma exists. Such a Dhuma exists? No. Such a Dhuma exists. Such a Dhuma means what? The Dhuma which has got invariable concomitance with Vani. Concomitance relationship. So, which has got invariable concomitance with Vani, such a Dhuma exists. This is called Paramarsha. So, these terms I am repeating again. As many times you will read, it will go on becoming clearer, 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 clearer. So repeated reading is necessary. Paramarsha. So Paramarsha is, therefore I have translated as confirmatory knowledge. It confirms that Dhuma belongs to that class which is pervaded by the class of fire. So it's a member of the class of Dhuma which is pervaded by any Vanni, that is a class of fire. There I have grasped. So as I have seen there, I was seen there. In all these cases, n number of cases, I always saw that wherever there is Dhuma, there is Vanni. Wherever there is no Vanni, there is no Dhuma. Therefore, Vanni is invariably related to, Dhuma is invariably related to Vanni. Such a Dhuma exists on the mountain. This is what is confirmatory cognition. Paramarsha. And once you have reached this, you will reach Anumiti. That is Vannigyana. In this case, Vannigyana. This is the indirect process of inference. And these are the terms involved. Now we will go further now. So now you can see when this Dhuma will lead me to the knowledge of Vanni, when I will have knowledge that this Dhuma is invariably related to Vanni. Is that so? This Dhuma on the mountain, if I know that the mountain possesses that Dhuma which is invariably related to Vanni, then next step will be knowledge of Vanni. So I should know Hetu as Vyapya. So until I know Hetu is Vyapya, Anumiti Prama is not going to emerge. So the central point in the process of inference is Vyapti. Hetu has to be Vyapya. Then only I will arrive at the conclusion. Otherwise I cannot come to the right conclusion. Then I will draw wrong conclusion. And if I draw wrong conclusion, that will not match the reality. So that will not be Prama, that will become Brahma. So as you have Brahma in the case of perception, you will also have Brahma in the case of inference. That means ayathartha jnana will emerge. So I was telling you that what is Prama? Knowing X as X. What is Aprama? Knowing X as Y. So as it happens in the case of perception, so also it can happen in the case of inference. And what is the crux? Vyapti. The invariable relationship between Hetu and Sadhya. So Vyapya. Hetu should be Vyapya. And this Vyapya is called good ground. Sadhetu. So if Hetu is Vyapya, then that Hetu is called sound ground, sound reason, good ground. You can say like that. So the test is that it should have Vyapya. If it is at Vyapti, you are confident. This much is clear, I hope. Now I can go ahead. So I did revision for you. And added more clarity to those who are present here. Those who are present also got something from this. So, in teaching, repeating is a guna. In writing a scientific text, that should be avoided. But if the text is being written for teaching, so to make a point, if you repeat something again, it is a guna. So, vyapya, remember, so this term. So, what is a hetu? Huh? That hetu. So, what is the hetu? Okay, let me ask like this. Because this kind of questions will be asked, no? In the end. Model question. So, when a dhuma becomes a hetu is sadhya. So, when hetu becomes sadhya, when hetu becomes hetu, dhuma becomes hetu. Test will be only of understanding, no memory test. Answer will be one word answer or maximum one sentence answer. No Ramayana is to be written, no Mahabharata is to be written, no Veda, no Purana, nothing has to be written. Answer should be given one word or maximum one sentence in some cases. I will not ask any such question which will demand more than one sentence as an answer. 10 questions will be there and you have to answer 10 words or 10 sentences. All questions are out. Only how much we have been able to understand. In other words, how much I have been able to communicate. This is not a field of memorization. This is a field of understanding. So that you can apply. Any field of your activity you can apply. Any field. You will be establishing electron proton. This is the method. You cannot explain that without positing electron proton. Some effect, something you cannot explain without assuming that. So that will be established only through this inference. So this is the maximum required instrument, like perception. And obviously this is based on perception, you can easily see. What is this? This is all observation, perception. So Anumana requires pratyaksha. Anumana requires pratyaksha. Because on pratyaksha only I will grasp the relationship. Yatra dhumah tatra vanni, perception. Through indriya, I will know. And then only I have come to know the relationship. And that is required in the process. So, Anumana Prakriya requires Pratyaksha Prakriya. Therefore, Pratyaksha Pramana is called Murdhanya Pramana. Murdhanya, supreme. So, this is the minimum understanding you need. To understand the process of inference, this is the minimum required understanding. Now, that a hetu, you see, so dhuma becomes hetu when it is known. Is that so? Okay, one more thing. Indriya is pramana. Indriya is pratyaksha pramana. And what is the vyapara? Sannikarsha, the contact. Sannikarsha is vyapara. These terms are already discussed. So, do you require to know your eyes before the eyes should become an pratyaksha pramana? Is it required to stand before a mirror and see eyes and then eyes will function? No. So it is said, ajñātam sat karanam bhavati. Pratyaksha, pramana, indriya is karana. Karana is pramana, instrument, process. So, indriya is karana without being known. You are not required to know indriya. But dhuma, unless dhuma is known, it cannot be involved in the process of inference. You see the difference? In pratyaksha pramana, I am not required to know indriya. But in anumana pramana, hetu jnana is necessary. Hetu by itself will not create knowledge of sadhya. It has to be known. So, jñātam sat karanam bhavati. So, Anumana Pramana is a karana, process. Dhuma Jnana will be in the process of Anumana. When? When it is known. So, Dhuma is known. Now, Dhuma is known as Dhuma. Will it be a Hetu? No. When Dhuma is known as a linga for knowing Mani, then it becomes Hetu. When it becomes Sadhetu, when Dhuma has got Vyapti. So you see, Dhuma by itself is not going to produce Anumiti. Dhuma is to be known. Dhuma is to be known not as simply Dhuma, but Dhuma is to be known as having invariable relationship with Vani. Then it is a Vyapya, and when it is a Vyapya, it is Sadhetu, good ground. So, Vyapti Vishishta. So in dhuma, I should know vyapti. So sadhya and hetu, when vyapti. If it has vyapti, then this is vyapya. Then it means that it is invariably related with sadhya. Yatra yatra hetu tatra tatra sadhyam. Yatra yatra hetu tatra tatra sadhyam. That is not a single exception to that. Now I give you some more information about vyapya. The Naiyayikas developed a method of testing that under which condition a hetu can be called vyapya. I know when hetu can be called vyapya, when it will have vyapti. But when, is there any other criteria to know this? The Nayayika said, yes, there is. Pakshe sattvam. Vipakshe asatvam. Such criteria can be provided for testing whether the dhuma can be treated or whether the hetu has vyapti or not. Now we know the term paksha. Now another term is vipaksha. Vipaksha means, okay, one more. All the three. Sapakshe sattva. You fulfill these three criteria at least. Some two more are there, but we will not discuss now. Pakshe sattvam, vipakshe asatvam, and sapakshe sattvam. Now what is, now you can see paksha here is parvata. Isn't it so? If this is the case that parvata vannima dhumat, this inference is being made. This is the inference. Parvata vannima dhumat, dhumavatvat. Then we say parvata is paksha. Means where you are going to establish this adhya. That is paksha. What is sadhya? Vanni. Where are you going to establish? In parvata. Parvata is paksha. He is going to define all of them after some time. So, in parvata, we are going to establish vanni. So, vanni, parvata is called paksha. Now, while acquiring the knowledge of vyapti, we had made certain observations already, and we saw that in Mahanasa, definitely there is vanni. Dhuma is there along with vanni in Mahanasa. Mahanasa is kitchen. So, in the kitchen, dhuma exists with vanni. This is called sapaksha. So, where definitely you know the sadhya exists. That locus is called sapaksha. Nischita sadhyavan. Sadhyavan sapakshaha. Where you definitely know the Vanni exists? In Mahanasa. So Mahanasa is Sapaksha. Parvata is Paksha. Mahanasa is Sapaksha, where Sadhya is known to exist definitely, along with the Hetu. Okay? And where you definitely know that the Sadhya does not exist. For example, in Hrada, in lake, that is Vipaksha. Nischita sadhya abhavavan Vipaksha. What is the Vipaksha? Vipaksha is that locus, that place, that adhara, where you definitely know that the sadhya does not exist. You definitely know there exists sadhya bhava. Sadhya does not exist, but sadhya abhava exists. So, here it is Mahanasa, and here it is Yatha, and Yatha Hradaha. Hrada is lake. So in Hrada you know that Vanni does not exist. In Mahanasa you know that Vanni exists. So you are clear about Sapaksha and Vipaksha and Paksha. So Paksha, Sapaksha, Vipaksha. Alright? Now apply this criteria. Hetu will have Vyapti. Which Hetu will have Vyapti? A Hetu which exists in Paksha. Okay. There only we start, no? It does not exist in Vipaksha. So Dhuma exists on Parvata. So first criterion is satisfied. Pakshe Sattvam. Paksha is Parvata. In Parvata Dhuma exists. So Pakshe Sattvam, existence, it exists. Vipaksha, what is Vipaksha? Hrada. In Vipaksha it should not exist, definitely known. So Dhuma does not exist in Hrada. So second also is met. Third is Sapaksha. Sapaksha is what? Mahanasa. Dhuma exists in Mahanasa or not? Yes. So Sapakshe Sattvam. So Pakshe Sattvam, Sapakshe Sattvam, Vipakshe Asattvam. All the three criteria are met. And therefore now you can be at rest that Dhuma has Vyapti. Dhuma is Vyapya. Dhuma is Sadhetu. And therefore, by knowing Dhuma, you can arrive at the knowledge of Vanni. So the knowledge of Dhuma will lead you to the knowledge of Vanni. Why? Because the knowledge of Dhuma is a Vyapya Jnana, that is Sadhetu. Sadhetu Jnana you have now. Dhuma is Vyapya. So Vyapti is known in Dhuma. Vyapti has an invariable relationship with Vanni. How do I know? It exists in Paksha. It does not exist in lake. It exists in kitchen. So it exists in Paksha. It exists in Sapaksha. It does not exist in Vipaksha. So it is a sadhetu. If it is a sadhetu, it will lead me to the knowledge of sadhya. Okay? Comfortable, no? But these terms, when you are coming for the first time, you have to read it again and again. When I will explain, you will understand. And after 10 minutes, you will forget. Sadhya. So only such hetu will lead me to sadhya jnana. So the judge will be observing whether the pleader is giving me a ground which has vyapti or not. You will have to convince the judge that it has vyapti. And other opponent will be pointing out, no, it doesn't have vyapti. So he will be giving examples, counter examples. He will be giving supporting examples. That's all. I met yesterday one gentleman, Raghavachari. He is a famous lawyer. And he says, sir, I took special training in Nyaya and Purva Mimamsa. Very old man, 80 plus. Is so? But he was practicing and he was very respectable practitioner because judges used to be very happy with him. He used to argue in this way. You can see, he doesn't need anybody's others. Yourself can feel. A judge will be convinced when the hetu is vyapya. When the hetu has got vyapti. So you have to convince him. He will say, what is your paksha? Parvata. What is your hetu? Dhuma. No, your case, no? Some case will be, in some case. You say that the sound is eternal, you will claim. You make some claim, okay, that training also is necessary. So before, my friends, I want to express my happiness today that we have among us one participant who has brought laurels to us. Shruti, come here. This girl has secured 12 medals, gold medals. 12 gold medals and first highest marks in Mysore University this year. So, and he is another attribute that also I came to know today. He is one of the best singers in Hindustani classical. On the final day, you present some 10 minutes of that. Okay? I like classical so much. I'm very happy. And you will be doing more Indian philosophy. A promise from you. Yeah. Yes. A good ground is that ground. A good hetu, a sadhetu is that hetu which has invariable concomitance with the sadhya. And we say that such a ground, such a hetu has got vyapti. So this is called vyapya. Alright? What is vyapti? Vyapti is a relationship. Relationship with hetu with the sadhya. Okay. Now, another point I should now clarify because he asked, so I found that there is some confusion. Now, in Nyaya, you might have observed by now that anything that we understand has to have a structure of dharma dharmi. Without dharma dharmi, you cannot understand any structure. That is the common form of any entity. So, when you say Parvataha Vanniman, so literally when you translate, how will you translate this? Mountain is, say, this is literal translation. Mountain is fiery. But Nyaya understands it in this way. Mountain has fire. Or there is fire on the mountain. You see? So, fire, mountain. Dharma, dharma. So, we establish this here. So, any case of inference when you come across, you will have to convert it in this way. For example, if I say that a pot is non-eternal, or anything eternal is non-eternal. If you claim this, it means what you are claiming is there is non in pot. This is what you are claiming. You can see dharma, dharma, dharma. So, this is paksha. So, case to case, paksha will become different. Here it is parvata paksha. Here it is pot will become paksha. So, dharmi will be paksha. Dharmi will be paksha. And that dharma you are going to establish in that paksha. And for establishing that dharma in the paksha, you will be looking towards another dharma in that paksha. You see? Parvataha Vanniman. What is dharma here? Vanni is the dharma. What is paksha here? And what is dhuma here? Another dharma of paksha. Again, okay. Very calmly, without any hesitation, you listen. Okay? This is you are going to establish, isn't it so? This dharma you are going to establish here. On what ground? Dhuma. So, dhuma also is the dharma of this or not? What is dharma? Adheya. Dharma is adheya. And this is adhara. Adhara is dharmi. Dharma. Dharmin. So, we are going to establish dharma in dharmin. So by Anumana, what are they going to do? Establishing a dharma in the dharmin on the ground of another dharma of this dharmin. Dharma in the dharmin. On what basis? Dhuma. What is Dhuma? Is another dharma of Parvata. Parvata has got so many things. Parvata has got, why do you call it, now again revision. How much you have understood? When should I call it a Parvata? Why? Why should I call it a Parvata? Because of correct. Don't hesitate. Parvatatva. Parvatatva is a dharma of Parvata. Is not so? It is Prithvi or not? So Prithvi also is here or not? So call it a Prithvi, positive dharma. Is it a dravya or not? So it has dravyatva also. It is a padartha or not? Huh? It is a bhava or not? Huh? So many dharmas is carrying, but it is Parvata. Even a pot can carry so many things. Are you getting me? This is how Nyaya looks at the world through language. But now you tell me, can I take dravyatva to establish Vanni here? Why not? That means this should be hetu. So I should have yatra yatra dravyatvam tatra tatra Vanni. So there is dravyatva here and there is Vanni. Where is Vanni? This is Pakshana. But that any dharma if I take, I want to know that why should I choose only Dhuma and not any other dharma here? Any dharma I could have taken. I should establish Vanni, which is a dharma of Parvata, on the basis of some other dharma of the Parvata. Now these many dharmas are there in the Parvata. Which dharma will take me to the knowledge of fire? Why? This alone is invariably related to this. So on the basis of this dharma of Parvata, I will come to know this dharma of Parvata. That's all. This is the Nyaya way of thinking. This is how we think. So Parvata Vanniman. There are two parts. Vanni, and this is the suffix. Possessive suffix. So if you want to say this, say for argument's sake, that you say the pot is blue. You are claiming the pot is blue. Then what do you want to establish? Blueness in pot, in the pot. So you have to convert it into the plough, the pot possesses now you know this is paksha and this is sadhya. Now I write Shabdaha Nitya. This is the claim. You convert it into this form. So Shabdaha Nityatva like Parvataha Maniman. Shabdaha Nityatvavan. So this is a suffix. The left hand side of the suffix is what? Nityatva. This is Adya. So whatever is at the left hand side of the possessive suffix is a Sadhya. Simplified. Formal criterion I gave you. So whenever you come across a claim, you convert it into this form. Parvataha. Proposition, when you don't know, you learn proposition. This is what is required in symbolic logic also. You have to perform, you have to convert any other sentence in the form of proposition. In Western logic, same thing is required here. If there is an inference, some claim, then you convert it into this form. This is the standard form of inference. Parvataha Manniman. So, what is Sadhya here? Vanni. It is the left hand side of the possessive suffix. And this is the dharma of this paksha. So paksha is Parvata, Vanni is Sadhya, and Dhuma Vatva. So Dhuma is again Hetu. Another dharma, you see, another dharma. So whenever there will be a case, in that case, first you convert it into this form, immediately it will be clear what is paksha, what is sadhya, what is hetu. It will appear immediately. So therefore I am quoting this again and again. So one form is registered in your mind. Parvataha Vannivan. All other inferences will have to be converted into this form to make it clear what is paksha, what is sadhya, what is hetu. Man is mortal. Okay, write down the sentence. Man is man is mortal. This is Western logic, Aristotle logic. So convert it into this form. Parvata Vannivan. Man is mortal. In English you write, in Sanskrit you write, let me see how we write. Man possesses mortality. Mortality. So what is paksha now? Man. And what is sadhya? Mortality. Now in Sanskrit, Manushyaha Maranashilaha. I'm going to say it. Marana Shila. Manushya Maranashila. How to write Manushya? That's all. So Marana Shilatva 1. So this is Sadhya. Marana is death. Cha. Marana is Icha. Marana is Icha. In Sanskrit it is. That is. I think they are referring to Icha Marana, I think. Oh, but the term Marana means death. Icha is desire, wish. Nobody wants to die. Is also true. So, you got the technique? This is the technique. So, once you convert it into this form, then you will be able to identify what is Paksha, what is Sadhya and what is Hetu. So, Sadhya is also a dharma of Paksha and Hetu also is a dharma of Paksha. So, on the basis of this dharma, I am going to establish this dharma. That's all. How should be this dharma? Vyapya. What is the meaning of Vyapya? It has got Vyapti. What is the meaning of Vyapti? It has invariable relationship with this. That's all. If it has Vyapti, it is Vyapya. Vyapya means it is a good ground, best ground. And then from knowledge of this will take me to knowledge of this. Alright? We are now ready to read the next passage. You can see why I am doing all this. So you will be teaching in the class. You will also have to do all this. You have to teach the next line. To understand the next line, how much of background is required? That a teacher must provide. Unless, okay, itah param kim vakyam vartate. This teaching has killed Sanskrit. So, now text number, by the way, who has pointed, this gentleman has pointed out, you also keep on correcting. Many mistakes have occurred. One has been pointed out by him on page 53. I have explained, but while printing, there is a Vyapara explanation I have given on page 53. And I have written after the line that x, z, y, no? And the line is here. X is the function of x is not correct. I have shown that z is the function of x. So x should be corrected as z. Please keep on correcting this and bring to my notice so that next edition, these are, and one also I have discovered that there is a mistake. These are all happening because of computer traveling. You see, on page 66, I'll open 56. And now you will understand because you now know. Step 3, that diagram should come below. And what is given, the diagram in step 4 should come up. 66. The step 3 diagram will go under step 4. And the step 4 diagram will go under step 3. So while editing, all these things have happened. You see, Paramarsha is written here, no? And the diagram of Paramarsha is below. Now you know this, right? Where Vyapti exists in smoke, smoke exists in mountain. So Vyapti, Vishishta, Paksha Dharmata, Jnana, this diagram, so this diagram should go up. And fire is on the mountain. There is fire on the mountain. Huh? So that diagram should come down. These things have happened like that. So please keep on correcting.